Hello, welcome back. Wow, this is weird. Reagan's sitting here with me. I have a special announcement from a member of the league that she wanted to hear. So, studio audience today.
Woo!
Yes, there you go. I didn't have an applause sign to hold up. So, all right, now shut up, Reagan. Anyway, this is the state of the league. As I pointed out yesterday, Scott's at the top, 3-0. Macia's at the bottom, 0-3, which leads me into Macia's statement. I reached out to the manager of I Don't Got Time for No Cal, asking for a video or an official written statement as his team's manager, and here we are. Labeled as official statement, I don't know how to do a Kyle voice, I'm just going to read it. A message to my fellow fantasy football lads, the great people of Dublin, and my opponent this week, Rag. Let me address the elephant in the pub. I am aware I'm 0-3, a record that cursed so bad you'd think I'd walked under a ladder while insulting a banshee. Sorry, but let me be clear. This is poorly written. The losing streak ends this week, and it ends at the hands of CJ Stroud, Alvin Kamara, and Sabrina Carpenter. Beautiful. Sabrina and her squad are walking into a bloody fantasy ambush, so brutal, so unjust, so gut-wrenching, it will make Barry Keoghan shed a tear of happiness into his pint. While my team is busy making Rags look like a load of banshees in the streets of Dublin on St. Patrick's Day, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be playing in Ireland, and you better believe I'll be there in spirit, sinking a pint of Guinness in honor of the youthful Aaron Rodgers in a pub so old that the toilets are haunted. By the way, I'm reading this for the first time. This is thoroughly entertaining. Rodgers told me on Tuesday, quote, "This is your week, little guy," except he spelled weak, W-E-A-K. So I think he just called himself a weak little guy instead of saying that it is his weak little guy. Anyway, and I believe him. Rag's team and the Vikings are going to get beat so bad they'll look like a group of Americans asking for directions in Galway. Rise from the ashes, go on a winning streak, and God bless the hands of DeKalen Metcalf. Yours truly, Kyle Maciel. Wow, that was a hard read, but inspiring. I think that was worth taking up 2.5 minutes of this video. Kyle's team looks ready to rock, and in honor of that, we will start with him and Rag's matchup. All right, as promised, I'm getting into it with Mace versus Rag. Mace is a slight favorite, and just FYI, normally I prep for these. I have notes, I have stats. I was very busy at work today, and I was already delayed a day because I've been busy this week, so just got to get this out there. I'm just going off the dome, and off the top of my head, I'm just going to pick Rag. Mace, your inspiring speech was awesome, and I hope you win, but I can't in good faith pick an 0-3 team. I'm rooting for Kyle, though, just let that be known, because fuck CJ Stroud. I think Kyle, this is his best chance he's had so far. This Rag team is very, very primed to lose. Got Kamara versus Buffalo, Javonte against Green Bay, and Jefferson against Pittsburgh. Those are his top three going against tough defenses. McBride tonight's going to be big, but Keenan Allen might. Oh, well, he's got Quinn. These two flexes might just cancel out. I like Trey McBride a fuck ton more than I like Sam Laporta. I think Kyle's team is okay. I think he's kind of with Judkins now. I think he might solidify himself, but I'm gonna pick against him until he wins a game. Just sorry, I have to. But this looks good. This looks better. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think this is going to have a lot to do with how Trey McBride looks tonight, and I think it's going to have a lot to do with if CJ Stroud can have a bounce-back game or if Tet McMillan can have a little more volume. So I'm going Rag, but Mace inspired me. I'm going to be rooting for him. I'm going to be rooting for the Steelers on Sunday morning. God, I'm excited now. Pumped for football, baby. All right, now we are going to what is apparently now a controversial matchup. I am looking at text right now from Eshawn calling for a coup against me because I told Scott to set his lineup tonight. He had James Conner in. He was about 45 minutes away from basically guaranteeing that he loses this matchup. I texted him earlier this afternoon as the commissioner, impartial, as a friend reaching out to a busy friend who's moving to Florida, and just said, hey, can you set your lineup? so I can do my video. He said it. Impartial commissioner, you're welcome. He was going to do it anyway. He probably just might have forgotten tonight. Anyway, sorry, Ish. I'm still rooting for you to win. And you know what? I'm still picking you to win. Underdog Ish. Let's go. We got to take down Scott. I am officially saying we 14-14. I don't think we play again for a very long time, so I'm officially down with me and Ish just to the moon. Fuck Scott. Other than my impartial commissioner responsibilities, obviously. Anyway, let's get into the matchup. He plugged Scatabo in for Scatabo? Scatabo rolls off the tongue better. I'm going with that. Plugged in Scatabo for, now that I'm saying it, that really sounds wrong. Fuck it. Whatever. He's plugging in Cam. Now I'm really in my head about Scatabo. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, James Conner's gone. Achane against the Jets is really fun. Herbert against the Giants is really fun. All these other ones, I don't know. Adams didn't practice again today. Scott does not have a lot of depth to plug him, so that's what's scaring me. If Adams doesn't play, this is pretty much guaranteed Ish. Drake London against the Commies is interesting because is it going to be Penix? Is it going to be Cousins? Does it matter because it's the Commies secondary? I don't know. So, too risky to pick. For Ish, Kyler tonight's huge. I like Kyron's matchup. I've seen people saying, like, oh, Blake Corum's going to steal all of Kyron. Calm down, guys. It's fucking Blake Corum. He's shorter than Rob is. He's not going to poach all of the snaps. He might start getting a little bit better of a snap share, but he's not poaching all his snaps. Cortland Sutton against Cincy is a home run. I think JSN against Arizona tonight is also a home run. Ish is just rooting for a shootout. I think Swift against Vegas is going to be a home run too. I think he's going to play because the Commies, all of our running game looked awesome against the Raiders. And then Gibbs against Cleveland is scary, but I think that Lions offense is just so good that the Cleveland defense just isn't really going to be able to stop him as much as they have been to other teams. So I'm going Ish here. I think this is another fantastic matchup. Whoever wins this will be first place in the league, and whoever loses will, depending on score and if I win, or if other 2-1 teams win, fall pretty far. So, we'll see. Love this matchup. Taking Ish. Scott, you're welcome. I will continue to help you set your lineups because that is what an impartial and good commissioner does. Pouchon could never. All right, finishing off this first video with another banger matchup. Hayden, with the weirdest team ever, is a big-time favorite against Briggs, who until my ass whooping of him last week was undefeated. I am kind of really split on this matchup, so I'm going to talk myself through it. Since I didn't prep, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do it. Addison against Pittsburgh, hate it. It's Wentz. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's against Pittsburgh defense. It's in Ireland. I don't like it. Kraft, a little bit injured, but it's Dallas's defense, so he's going to be awesome. Amon-Ra, kind of the same thing as Gibbs. Maybe not as good as last week, but still going to be good. Benson, we're going to have to see. I'm assuming good. Chase Brown, another brutal defense to go up against, so who knows with him. Hurts, Tampa. They always lose to Tampa, though. Yeah, I'm going Hayden. I don't like the Eagles against Tampa. Tampa's kind of had their number the past couple of years, but now let me talk myself into Hayden. Purdy back. That's nice. Bucky. Bucks own Philly. Jaylen Warren. Neighbors. Oh, God. Coleman. Jawan John. Oh, God. Tyreek Hill. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going to go Hayden, but this team does not excite me this week. Hill against the Jets, I guess, and Coleman against New Orleans. It could be exciting. I think Thomas still having to play Marv really sucks for him. Moving him to the flex makes it seem like he's out the door. He just can't afford to. Thomas already got lucky with Benson. Thomas was going to be fucked this week if James Conner didn't get hurt. He wouldn't have had any other good, decent running backs to plug in. Thomas got absolutely saved by the James Conner injury, but not saved enough. I'm going Hayden here. I might regret it because I don't think he has the better team in this matchup. I think he's just got it this week. I have faith in Hayden. I think Hayden's my first favorite that I've picked to win, so we'll see. All right, I'll see you guys in part 2. Oh my God, guys, I just recorded the entire part 2. This was the last matchup that I was talking about. And I finished and I pressed the next button and it just all deleted. Fuck, I was kind of cooking too. All right, this might be a little less inspired, but here we go. Fuck, now I gotta make a note of who he's even in this video. All right. Anyway, so Clay versus Mikosi, as I was literally just saying, not my favorite matchup of the week, but I'm picking Mikosi. I like his matchups a lot more. Let me look at him real quick. Fields against Miami, love it. Genty against Chicago is fun. New England's defense hasn't been that great. Tennessee's defense hasn't been that great. Miami's defense is ass. Baltimore's defense is ass. Atlanta's defense is not that great. And no Terry this weekend, so I like Debo a lot. On Clay's side, McCaffrey against Jacksonville, eat. Just disgusting. Jaden's probably going to play, but the doctors might tell him he can't. Stevenson, ass. DK's been ass in fantasy. Golden has not been great. Bowers has been up and down. And I'm not a huge fan of Clay's team here. He needs a lot. His wide receivers are all three like barely flex kind of guys, and he has one running back. This team is not great. So I'm going Mikosi. Once again, sorry, I just talked about this matchup. Oh, man, I really cooked on this matchup in the last video, too. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to hate watch the fuck out of this matchup. Pushan versus Rob. Rob was just talking shit about me in the group chat or he just thumbs down a message about me helping Scott out. God forbid, impartial commissioner tries to help Scott out, moving to Florida, and his girlfriend forgot to turn on the utilities. Just let me do it, okay? I wanted to make the video with the full lineups in. I'm still picking Rob, though, because Pushan's a little bitch boy, and he won't do the punishment, and he wants my commissioner's role, and he won't do the punishment, and he's horrible at fantasy football, and he flexes him going out on a Wednesday on us like instead of doing his fucking punishment. Anyway, let's get into the actual matchup. Mahomes against Baltimore, love it. Derrick Henry against Kansas City, who knows? He's been kind of a fumble machine. Montgomery as the second back against that Cleveland defense, couldn't hate it more. Now that I've said that, he's going to have another 30 bomb, but I said what I said. A.J. Brown against Tampa, who knows? Jawan Jennings, he might play, but Purdy might not. I don't know. And I hate Olave. Hate him. So I'm going Rob here. Baker. Bucks sneaky have owned Philly the last couple of years, so we'll see. I love Jonathan Taylor and Omarion Hampton. Rob has sneaky created a great running back room now that Najee's out of the way, especially against the Giants. I said this when I previously recorded, but I think Rob probably expected George to be his number 2 wide receiver and then BTJ to be awesome and Rome to be like, who knows? But now Rome is like one of the best in the league. So I love him. I love that matchup against Vegas. That defense is horrendous. So I'm going Rob here. Hopefully this is a pretty easy win for Rob, but we'll see. God, this video is going to end up being like half the time the other one was. I just forgot most of the stuff I was going to say, and I wasn't prepped. This is what I get for actually doing my job at work. Someone remind me not to do that anymore. Anyway, I was talking last time about how fucking god-awful Brett's team was, and I went on a fun tangent about the last time the Vikings played overseas. I put a $100 free bet that I got from FanDuel on the Vikings -3, and they choked the game and then won by 3. But because it was a free bet, I didn't get my push, so I didn't get my money back. So I just lost $100. Free bet, by the way, still. I was still pissed. So I was livid. That was one of my worst beats ever. I would be hard rooting for Pittsburgh. But Ireland game, 2 really good defenses. I don't love it for fantasy. And both of Brett's running backs are in that game and his tight end. So I'm going Sutton here. These 2 rosters are horrifying to look at. One other than Saquon and Lamar, like this just... Like, who else? Flowers, Barkley, and Lamar. Otherwise, all of these skill guys would be like flexes on other people's teams. But I'm going Sutton. Caleb against Vegas defense, like I said. I mean, Ladd's wide receiver 3 in his own team, sketchy. Pearsall is injured with an injured quarterback, sketchy. I like Ertz a lot, especially if Terry's not going to play, but Jaden is. And Rashid Rice, who knows? I wish I could pick neither of these 2 teams because I think they're both ass. But hopefully Sutton gets a little revenge for Brett somehow sneaking into the playoffs over him last year. So, like I said, I previously talked on this matchup for about 5 minutes straight, but that's all I got in the tank for this one now. Sorry. All right, time to revisit my own matchup, which, like I said, I already talked about. But me versus Cal, great matchup. I'm sure there will be lots of shit talk. Actually, there has been shit talk. Cal already texted me and said his experts predict that he's going to score 160 or something, and I won't break 100. So that was fun. It also took him about 16 hours to answer my text, so don't act like you're not on your phone, bro. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm picking myself to beat Cal because fuck Cal, and I've been doing a good job of... I think I've gotten all my games right. I correctly predicted myself to lose to Ish, and then I correctly predicted myself to win the next two, so go me, I guess. Cal's team, Danny Dimes, I don't know. He's been really good, but not that good for fantasy. Like, he's been fine. Bijan against Commies, that projection feels very low. Our run defense has been solid, but that feels like a low projection. Kenneth Walker tonight, it kind of just depends. I don't remember if Sharbs is playing. I kind of think he is, which is not good for Kenneth Walker. Igbuka I love. Then it falls off a cliff. You're probably not going to get another Hunter Henry game. He's just waiver picking up wide receiver twos. He did it last week. He's got Trey Tucker in there now. Gotta imagine Trey Tucker's not dropping another 40 bomb, but who knows. DJ Moore, don't hate it against Vegas. I mean, I know Rome is wide receiver 1, but Vegas' defense was really shitty. For my team, Vikings defense against Raji, don't hate it. Especially, like I said, Europe game, Sunday, a lot of travel, 2 really good defenses. Could be a slot fest. I like Fannin. I think he's due for another game where he just kind of eats into Njoku's points. My wide receivers sketch me out a lot this week. Denver's defense might eat Jake Browning alive. But the good thing is I love my running backs this week. Dobbins against the Cincy defense I love. James Cook and Josh Allen stack against New Orleans. Cal, me picking myself is no affront to you at all. I actually kind of like your team. Me picking myself is purely because Josh Allen and James Cook get to go against New Orleans. I watched that New Orleans-Seattle game as much as I could bear last Sunday. Holy shit, Seattle torched them. And Josh Allen has more talent in his left big toe than Sam Darnold has in his entire body. So I think that game could get ugly, and I'm glad I have them on my team. But yeah, I'm picking myself. Cal, I hope you don't beat me because I don't want to be 2-2. I want to be 3-1. This is the only league I have hope in. My other league, I'm the worst team in the league. I was not in a good place when I drafted. I might have been drunk. Who knows? Whatever. Anyway, that's for a different league. It's fine. All right, I'm back to this screen again. So anyway, like I said, walking you through my picks. I picked myself, Rag, Ish, Rob, Sutton, Makosi, and Hayden. It would be sick if I got all those right. I would assume I'll probably go 3-4 again because I'm bad at this. But this ended up being about 45 minutes of filming, which I really didn't want to do. But here we are. I will release these later. Good luck. Thursday Night Football for everybody. I hope everyone wins their bets. Hope everything goes well because I know I won't be hitting my bets. See you all for the hopefully Tuesday recap. And hopefully I'm 3-1. Hopefully the commies are 3-1. And hopefully Pushan loses.